On September 28, 1984, the world watched in suspense as two jumbo jets were mere seconds away from colliding into the Atlantic Ocean. It was a close call that could have been catastrophic. But what if I told you that there was more to this near accident than met the eye? Welcome to our channel where we bring you the craziest and weirdest stories from human history. Some are scary, some are sad, but all are fascinating. This is the untold story of South African Airways Flight 295. The year is 1984, and the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union is at its peak. Tensions are high and both sides are on edge. In this climate of fear and mistrust, the United States government is secretly running a program called Ryan now. This top-secret project involves flying U.S. military personnel out of the country in civilian clothes aboard commercial airliners. The plan is to evacuate these personnel should the Soviets ever decide to launch a nuclear strike. One fateful day, a group of U.S. servicemen board South African Airways Flight 295 bound for Cape Town from Washington, D.C. Among them is a young airman named Paul Laxag. Little does he know that his life is about to change in a way he never could have imagined. Meanwhile, another passenger on board, Captain Eric Moody, has no idea that he's about to become famous for a different reason. Moody is a veteran pilot with thousands of hours in the air. He's calm, collected, and experienced. He's also the captain of the ill-fated Air India Flight 136 that crashed in 1970. Moody was cleared of all blame in the crash, which was caused by a series of unfortunate events beyond his control. But the tragedy still haunts him. He's known for his cool head in the face of danger and his quick thinking. And now, he's about to need every bit of skill and composure to save everyone on board Flight 295. As the plane approaches its destination, Laxag is excited to finally reach his stop. But when he gets off the plane, he notices something strange. Two men in plain clothes are waiting for him, and they tell him that they need to speak with him urgently. Laxag, being the dutiful airman that he is, follows them outside where they hand him a note from the captain, asking for assistance in locating a briefcase. Laxag had seen the briefcase earlier, and knew it contained important documents that needed to be delivered to the U.S. Embassy in Cape Town. Without hesitation, he agrees to help, and returns to the plane to search for the missing bag. As he's looking for the briefcase, he overhears the pilots talking about a potential delay in their departure due to bad weather. This is frustrating as Laxag knows that he needs to get to the embassy as soon as possible. Suddenly, he remembers seeing the briefcase in the cargo hold and rushes to check. But when he opens it, he finds something that shocks him. Instead of the important documents, the briefcase is filled with boxes of apples. Just then, one of the plainclothesmen from earlier appears and asks Laxag if he found the briefcase. When Laxag explains that it was empty except for the apples, the man reveals his true identity as an agent of the South African Bureau of State Security. He explains that they had received a tip that there were explosives on board the aircraft, and they needed to locate it before it detonated. He apologizes for the mix-up and says that he'll sort everything out. Laxag, confused and concerned, watches as the agent leaves to find the real briefcase. Back in the cockpit, Captain Moody and his crew are preparing for takeoff. When they receive a message from air traffic control, the message is urgent and cryptic, instructing them to hold their position on the runway. Moody, being the experienced pilot that he is, knows that this is no small matter. He radios back, asking for clarification. The response is not reassuring. The controller simply repeats the instruction to hold, and says that they'll be right with him shortly. Moody, growing increasingly uneasy, tries to contact the other planes in the vicinity to see if they're experiencing the same issue, but there's no answer. He can't help but wonder what's going on and why they're being singled out. As the minutes tick by, Moody becomes more and more concerned. He knows that holding on the runway with a full load of fuel is dangerous and could potentially lead to a fire or explosion. He weighs his options and decides to take matters into his own hands. He tells his co-pilot to contact the airport authorities directly to find out what's happening. Meanwhile, he keeps a close eye on the instruments and makes sure that the plane is safe to operate. Just as Moody is about to make a decision, the mysterious controller comes back on the radio. They give the crew the green light to take off, and everything seems to be back to normal. But Moody knows that something is definitely amiss, and he cut and shake the feeling that they were being watched. As the plane takes off and begins to climb, Moody and his crew keep a sharp lookout for any sign of trouble. But nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. However, as the plane reaches cruising altitude, Moody receives a disturbing phone call. It's the airport manager who informs him that there was a bomb threat against the aircraft, that the authorities had been searching the plane for explosives. Moody's heart sinks as he realizes that they had been so close to disaster. But as he thinks back on the events leading up to the takeoff, he can't help but feel that something doesn't add up. He recalls the mysterious message from air traffic control and the subsequent delay. He wonders if it's all just a coincidence, or if there's something more sinister at play. As the plane continues on its journey, Moody remains vigilant. He knows that the threat of danger may not have passed, and he's determined to keep his passengers safe. Meanwhile, back in Cape Town, the bomb threat is taken very seriously. The authorities evacuate the airport and launch a full-scale search operation. But as it turns out, the bomb threat was a false alarm. No explosives were found on the plane or in the baggage. Everyone is relieved that the scare was unfounded. But as the news of the incident spreads, people start to wonder what really happened. Was it a case of mistaken identity, a prank gone wrong, or something more sinister? As the investigation into the incident continues, the spotlight falls on Captain Moody. He's hailed as a hero for his quick thinking and level-headedness. But Moody is still shaken by the experience. He knows that he and his passengers were incredibly lucky to escape disaster. And as he reflects on the events of that day, he can't help but wonder what would have happened if things had turned out differently. What would have caused such a scare? There seemed to be no logical reason for someone to falsely report a bomb threat. The thought of someone so callously risking the lives of hundreds of innocent people is disturbing. But as time goes on, the mystery deepens. There are rumors of a disgruntled former employee, a jealous lover, and even a foreign government plot. But as the investigation digs deeper, it becomes clear that none of these theories hold up. The truth is that the bomb threat was a complete mystery. No one had any motive or means to carry out such a brazen act. The incident became known as the Cape Town air disaster, a puzzling event that to this day has no definitive explanation. Despite the lack of answers, the authorities take steps to improve airport security. Bomb detection technology is updated, and new screening procedures are implemented. While these measures help to prevent future incidents, they also have a profound impact on air travel as a whole. Airports become more crowded, and travelers have to endure lengthy security checks. The convenience of air travel is replaced by the inconvenience of heightened security measures. In the aftermath of the incident, Captain Moody and the other passengers on board, Flight 295, received counseling to help them cope with the trauma of the experience. But even with the support, the emotional scars run deep. Many of the passengers suffer from anxiety and fear to fly, while others are haunted by the memory of that fateful day. The incident had a profound impact on their lives that would never fully go away. Over time, the incident fades from the headlines, and the world moves on. But for those affected by the Cape Town air scare, the trauma and uncertainty linger on. The incident raises fundamental questions about the nature of risk and the fragility of life. In an instant, everything can change, and there's no guarantee that we'll make it through unscathed. Today, the memory of the Cape Town air scare serves as a reminder of the importance of safety and security. We remember those who were affected by the event, and honor the courage of those who helped to keep us safe. We also take a moment to reflect on the fragility of life and the importance of living each day to the fullest, because in the blink of an eye, everything can change. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more crazy and weird historical tales.